please let me know if there are not any problems. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be interacting with Twitch chat, so you might have to PM me on Battle.net, we'll see. Right now, we're just trying to resolve some issues with players might having a site that are over from EU. So we're just going to have to play a few quick games and see what happens. I'm not sure how many games we will have to play, actually, though. Hopefully it's not too many. Leaving now. Hopefully it counts. Oh. Perfect. And let's see, join that lobby. I didn't check. Alright. So, I guess SeJeY didn't really have any score previously, and we had to make sure that he had score in order to not have vision of every other player in the game. So let's see, currently we have 6 of our 9 expected players. 6 out of 9. Let's leave this party, actually. 6 out of 9. Okay, so let's check on who we are missing right now currently. It looks like we still need StarDuck, Maddogs, and Flinks. Let's double check that right now. Okay, we are still waiting for StarDuck, Maddogs, and Flinks. What we really should have done is had a requirement in check-in that was maybe 15 minutes prior. Okay, that was an in accepting my friend request. Oh. Join a tournament if there is space. Okay, I'm gonna add StarDuck. Ooh, not accept. StarDuck is online. Let me go check that my Twitch is actually working right now. Hopefully things are going well. Bum, bum. I do not want anything else opening, and let's see. Oh, you are correct. Okay, so we're still just trying to get people. It looks like we're going to have, so we have space for 2. We will give until 11 o'clock, 11:05. Inviting others. 5-minute grace period. Some of us are okay. Okay, it does indeed look like everything is going smoothly enough. Okay. Okay, it does indeed look
Time to
like
copy everyone's maze. Oh man, maybe I should put it on a little bit of lag.
Okay. Alright, I will re-invite StarDuck. I'm gonna leave all whispers first, actually. Okay, it looks like StarDuck is... try restarting. Oh, so I guess StarDuck might think that it's working. Although I don't even think that my invite to the lobby is going to work, so we'll check that out. Actually, I just learned something kind of interesting about. Yeah, there we go. When you make a private lobby for an arcade game, you actually can set referees or spectators in these options down here. However, Entropy, it looks like maybe the way the map was set up that you're not allowed to actually set somebody as a ref, but you can for a different type of word for game. For instance, if I made like a Desert Strike game, I'd be able to set a spectator. So maybe in the future we can try and do that. I think he got stuck. Maybe in the future we can try and actually have 9 people in each of these competitions that we're going to have, but for now I guess we're just going to have to settle with 8. I don't think it's going to matter because it looks like everybody here is above 9K, so hopefully we'll get good games regardless. Okay. So we're still waiting on Flinks and Maddogs, I believe. Let's, I think that we're going to be moving on and inviting other people from the tournament list. We might invite NaKsUtTaJa if we don't have anybody else coming. I'm going to add him as a friend right now. Okay, and oh, that's the event that's happening right there. So add friend, and it's number, oh, I've already forgotten. It might be 2240. No, it was definitely not. Although I also just did the wrong side. 2242, okay. 2242, enter. Alright. Oh, perfect. Yes. So I just friend invited NaKsUtTaJa. Okay, so I wish that we had added a little bit more coordination for this, but we will, we will see how things turn out. Maybe we just go ahead and invite Menindar. Wow, this is a stacked lobby. I don't think I've ever seen so many good players here before. Usually you can get like 3 or 4 really good players and you start calling it stacked and you're like, oh wow, anybody can take this, but looks like we're going to have twice that number. Okay. Yeah, so I think that we're going to go ahead and invite other players, but like I said, in the future we should just be slightly more organized ahead of time and actually have a check-in. It's 15 minutes, and then we can like rotate through to the next player if players don't check in. But I think that's about it. Really hope that I am still streaming. Okay, it looks like I am. We're missing 2 players, Flinks and Maddogs. So NaKsUtTaJa joined 1 spot left. Let me officially say I am currently streaming. Stream snipe. You better hope my commentary is good enough for it. I doubt it. Map selection will be left up to the players. Oh wow. BRB everyone. Thank you, True. I actually forgot about that. I was thinking about that earlier, but then we had to go reset other banks. So I'm going to go to replays, and I'm going to go into the show folder, and that actually brings me to my Battle.net profile for this. I'm just going to delete my bank file, or I'm going to copy it over first before deleting it. And delete. And to my knowledge, that is how it works. Actually, I will give out points. So I'm actually just going to give away points today, because otherwise I might get some of the newbie tips, which might just take up some of the space on the screen and just be a little bit more difficult to navigate. So yeah. Which isn't the biggest problem, but I figure if everybody just cites me. So, official rules. Oh, perfect. No. So I was going to use a 0 score for vision. I was going to use a 0 score for vision. But let's just state rules. 1. Map selection left up to players. 2. Please cite me before round 2. 3. Please please be ready for the game immediately upon next game. Convince everyone else. Good luck, everyone. Please start. Okay, so it looks like we've substituted Flinks out for NaKsUtTaJa. Going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this looks like a really good lobby. I'm excited to play these games. Okay. Okay, I really hope that nobody crashes and we can keep all players here, but we're going to have to see how it turns out. For anybody tuning in, I guess I will try and look at Twitch chat occasionally. But please PM me if there's something wrong with the stream so I can try and address it. Other than that, this is my first official cast, so please go easy on me. I don't imagine it to be perfect, but any tips and feedback is greatly appreciated. Also, it is quite early here, so I'm just still trying to digest my breakfast. I wonder what the average score between all of these players is. I should have calculated that previously. Any pleas for no R can be heard now. Please. Wow. Muscle memory is quite strong. I end up words that you don't type very frequently just immediately change to different words when you're not paying close attention, but funny enough. Looks like we already have 5 R's, we have the single one. StarDuck, True and I played a few Entropy games yesterday, and Squirrel was destroying us just by playing quick towers on high damages, when we all chose to income like 3 times. It was pretty funny. Where's this 8 supply? Seed. Max supply. I don't see this 8 supply seed. I see a 17 supply seed. Oh, number 2. And there's a suicide link. If I were playing on this map, I would just put an anti-air at the top right on the 40 and just kill all the suicides. Alright. I will do a map analysis first. Vision before wave 2. Good luck. Okay, so for those that don't know, I'm actually going to be hitting end on my keyboard, and this allows you to zoom out of your map. This basically just gives you a more aerial view of the map, so you can check out exactly what's happening. The first thing that I do when I'm looking at a map is I just go and hover over this map side, and I see that there are 2 mineral spots, and that there are 2 checkpoints. So usually players are going to be looking to get full passes on these minerals, so there's a wave 2.4 and a wave 2.1. Every time that units walk over these minerals, you get additional money according to the wave times that number, rounded down. So usually people will highly prioritize this. It looks like this wave is not going to be possible to get this game because there's no entrance. It's completely quarantined off by these rocks. And so that's going to be unusable, especially since we don't have any rock breaks in this game. So I'm going to be page upping one more time and just trying to get a feel for this game. Usually you try and separate odd and even checkpoints, so we're going to be doing start, 1, 2, and finish. So typically you're going to want to finish group finish and 1 towards one side of the maze. I want the link. Hits Control F. Okay, wow, I just wrote Control F twice. Alright. So I'm actually just going to check out menu and see how many points I lose for losing first. Okay, that's not bad. That's just because Miaouf is still a little bit low, and so is Maddogs, just for on this account. But for such a high lobby, I only lose 17k for losing first. It's not that bad. Okay. So I'm actually going to go check out the player with the highest damage. It was Yoonmeister. I think that Yoonmeister has sold everything. Maybe to grab an income this round, rather than do anything else. Please vision me NaKsUtTaJa and SeJeY. Okay, so this is a trick that True right here is doing. Basically, these thanks. For those that don't know, this tower is actually super important to have because the suicide link will go and go from each checkpoint towards that tower. So if you build a single tower on one of these mineral waves, the suicide link will run over towards this tower from each checkpoint and grab minerals. Okay. Just vision me. No need for other players. Site 1. I'm trying my best to cast, and it would be good to see everyone's map. But focus on the game. So maybe this will be exciting. We won't actually see everybody's until I've died, but oh well, so be it. Thanks. Okay, it does look like I have everybody's vision. So, just looking at this map, it looks a little bit difficult to separate these. You're going to have to collect these two on one side. So, let's see what strategies everybody is using. Right now, it looks like Shmo is just trying to grab this 2.4 mineral pass every single time in order to grab money. And to do that, they go from start to 1, and they probably pass over this, back to 2, and back to finish. It looks like a 3-pass maze. Let's check out Maddogs, because he currently had the highest damage. I'm having a little bit of difficulty seeing how this maze works, especially if this TP1 is used. It looks like they were swinging around here, grabbing this 2.4. I'm not sure it was completed last round. And then actually hitting this TP on the way to 1 and coming out towards 2. I actually really like this. I think that this is a brilliant way of using this TP. I wasn't sure how it was going to be done before. I'm just going to check the Twitch chat really quickly. Oh, okay, cool. So I believe that we're still working, potentially. So, I have not actually looked at these waves yet. So we actually have a Split Titan, a Suicide, and a Scare, and a Slow Immune. These are actually slow immune, so this teleport didn't work, neither did this wave 2.4, but it looks like True actually had the highest damage, but not substantially. It was quite close compared to everybody else. True and Shmo both had close damage. It looks like everybody's using this TP right here, but True and Shmo both probably opted for a Q upgrade, so their towers do 2 damage for every single hit. I do hope that the stream is still working. I believe that it is, but I have a green screen right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and just follow everybody's maze. I believe that this might be the most common setup. We see both True and Shmo employing it. We saw Maddogs using it earlier. Miaouf is doing the same thing. Miaouf has opted not to grab this 2.4 on the way to 1, only on the way to finish. So he's that's giving up money in order to get some potentially more damage. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of it, but maybe it will work, and I'll be proven wrong. SeJeY has this same maze. I wonder if this was really just intuitive and I hadn't thought about it previously, but it's potentially. Yoonmeisters. Yeah, we're all just doing nice and grabbing these extra minerals. And we also have Maddogs. Looks like Maddogs is still doing this. Swing around by the TP. I'm trying to see how they come out from start down. Maybe around this finish area right here, they're grabbing the money. And we have NaKsUtTaJa also doing the exact same thing. So for the suicide lane, I think that's nobody has actually adjusted for this wave. I should be readying every single map, but I don't think it's been a problem yet. So I don't see anybody that opted to get the suicide lane over that 2.4, as we saw True do earlier. That's a shame. I think that they're missing out on a little bit of money, but maybe we upgraded towers in other ways in order to get more damage done. It looks like True and Maddogs are the ones that are doing the most damage. I imagine that's because they got several Q ups. Yeah, we see 3 Q upgrades here, and oh, okay. Oh, this is because it was finished last. Okay, and I'm imagining 3 Q upgrades here as well. Oh, just 2, but we also have a tower done for True. I think that tower is actually really strong. It is a 4% speed. See? So speed is going to be maxed out a little bit more slowly on this map. So maybe this tower isn't as important as I thought it was going to be, but for now I think it's still quite strong. Especially since it's on this 140% damage. Oh, I didn't even look at these damage fields. It's going to be huge. Given that it can attack everything. I don't know how much it's going to be hitting. For instance, the Split Titan, and it looks like this 2 is a little bit weird. But True might be trying to drag it upwards towards here and getting a second round of hits. Okay. I'm looking at Shmo. Shmo seems to be just doing a mass style right now. Yes, 3 Q upgrades. I'm going to be zooming in for more traditional viewing. And I actually don't mind. I like Shmo's maze a lot. I'm still curious about where we're always supposed to maze. This 140 spot is going to be super deadly just because of the amount of damage it's going to be output from it. But yeah, we will see. I'm actually going to check Twitch really quickly one more time. Yeah, it looks like things are running fairly smoothly. That's perfect. Okay. So, yeah, Shmo actually did do the most damage with his 3 Q ups. That's really good. I do indeed like... I really like this strong Q start, especially with all of these money, like the 2.4s and all the minerals. Oh, and we see Shmo picking the very first tower for a high damage. Maybe this is just test to see how much range it has. But I do like that, just because I really don't see how this 140 is going to be playing out. There just doesn't seem to be that much room to maze, other than an up and down. Maybe it's possible to go for a longer range tower in order to make better use of it. But we will see. Okay. So let's check out Yoonmeisters. Yes, going for this bounce on this 140 and getting the second pass over here. But that's really it. You get 1 loop down there and on the way to 2. And then, of course, this TP. But when you compare that to a maze like Shmo's, there's going to be so much shooting time behind this tower. And I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Because, obviously, every single one of these shots on the 140 is going to be 1.4 140% stronger than this tower. But maybe there will this high damage will take enough shots to compensate for it. Shmo is still doing the most damage, but I do think it's being carried by the Q upgrades rather than anything else. If you look at the damage, only 616. Let's look at, for instance, True's damage, which is already doing twice that for 1255. And yeah, we have this nice setup right here. And one of the important things which I didn't check really was the 35 supply. Depots are 59. Nothing seems very unusual except these wave upgrades, which are 649, but I don't think it'll affect much, other than Split Titans might just die a little bit. You won't be able to spam them for Split Titans. So, looks like Angle is a tower of choice from True. And you can see, we'll try and look at it and see damage shots later. Right now, it's very hard to tell damage, but it's doing 110 per shot. The actual damage leader, though, are Maddogs and StarDuck. So let's check out Maddogs. It still has this basic setup where it's going up and grabbing the TP. Oh, and Maddog actually is slightly unique in that the way that he is using this 140 is to go back and forth over here and grabbing this too. I actually might like that. I'm curious what the range is. I wonder if it's possible to have towers layered this way and then come back. I'm going to check that on my own map really quickly. So, for instance, this is the setup which I'm talking about. And that is a full wall right there. Wow, this is trying on mechanics. So, it does look like we're missing just a little bit on the range right here, but maybe with some range upgrades and an 8 range tower, you might be able to hit on this spot down here and maybe get another pass. It's kind of hard to tell. So maybe there is actually more room to extend than everything else, especially if somebody opts for a longer maze compared to like Sniper or something else. So it does look like True is doing the most damage right now on this wave. And that they're just coming up towards this. I think actually this angle is going to do really well on these suicide lanes compared to this high damage which Shmo picked. As you can see, Shmo's maze was already done just because this is a more centralized location. And on the way to 1, it's just going to be a little bit faster compared to going from start all the way to this 140, all the way to the 1. The 2 kind of is cut out, but I think the distance is made up for over here, and that it's going to have complete shooting time everywhere else. As you can see, highest damage. What's interesting though is Maddogs actually has the life lead, so just a 2020 HD tower, that's strong. It looks like there's still an extension happening up here, and that we're going to get some zigzag action back here. And it looks like Maddogs is actually doing quite well. Given the tower choice, I think HD's, I really would have preferred an angle tower here, just because of the more range and the higher damage coefficient. But I think it was a little bit tough to see. It's always difficult, like, to pick an angle tower, just because it being unidirectional, either left, up, down, or right, is quite vexing, because you can't really expand much. You're cutting your your vision into a quarter of what it typically is. So let's look at damage. StarDuck is still doing quite a bit of damage. Oh, StarDuck has opted for the 60-20 instead of this 140. This is cool, especially because it's giving this up, but he gets a lot more maze time over here. I think eventually there's going to be expansion on this side, going back and forth, and maybe even using this bottom. It might be not as strong as it was just because of these speed zones over here, which make things a little bit more difficult to play. But we'll see if it pays out. Not having maze length and having very little time for a tower shooting, even in the 140, is going to be played very difficult. As you can see, True's definitely suffering for being in the 140 right now and not doing much damage. But I don't remember quite what Yoonmeisters is doing. Oh, we have a bounce right here. 28, 38. I wish I could see incomes right here. Maybe that's one of the benefits. 29, 36. So they're definitely comparable between the two. So why is Yoonmeisters doing so much more damage? Oh, to start off, that was with Scareling. So, Scareling, for those that don't know, takes additional damage every time it's hit. So, it's going to have an energy bar. I'll try and highlight this the next time it's played. But, basically, towers that which hit additional targets will typically do much, much better against it. Okay, so as you can see, True is definitely doing more damage this wave compared to everybody else, but Shmo is still doing exceptionally well for having built in on a 20 range and giving up damage entirely. I'd still wonder maybe this 40-20 would have been good as well, but Shmo does have all this expansion room over here, and I think that's really what's being banked on. If there were more supply, maybe like 65 instead of 35, even just 10 more, 45 supply, I think that you'd be able to use this, and this would be so much stronger. I think just because of the supply that it's going to be potentially not working at. Okay, let's look at StarDuck still. Wow, highest damage with a 60. It's crazy. Competing with a 60% damage against a 140%. The person that you're competing against, I find differences of 30% damage are just huge. Because if you're doing 30% more damage against somebody that does 10k, you're doing 13k. And that can easily add up to just 10 kills over a single round. You just have to check for damage output each time. But yeah, we'll see how it ends out. Oh, StarDuck is not actually using this TP format, which everybody else has used around CP1. If StarDuck had that, I believe that the maze would be much longer. You could have an additional pass, and for sure would be the damage leader. Or at least last round, but we'll see how this plays out as well. So, yeah, StarDuck is still leading, but I think that True might win this round just because of that additional pass. I think StarDuck might have had it otherwise. Let's see how Shmo is doing. Oh, it's still competing, even though on this range. I think it's going to be so strong. Oh, there goes my score. It's going to be so strong once they're capable of expanding over here. At least now, hopefully I can see the incomes. Yeah, we see Shmo with a single income. Let's just compare across the board. We have 1 income from TrueAlcove. 1 income from Miaouf. SeJeY has 2 incomes. Oh, I like that a lot. Oh, with an angle on the exact same setup. Let's look at lives, though. Ooh, already dropping down to 54. I think that second income might be able to pay for itself, but games typically progress a lot faster when there is money on the ground. Just because you're able to max out your towers faster. So perhaps 2 incomes was playing greedy, but maybe SeJeY read True's damage and was trying to compete directly with him by just doing the exact same setup with an income. And it does seem like a strong setup so far. Okay, let's look at Yoonmeisters. 1 income with this bounce right here. Yeah, this is still looking quite strong. True had the highest damage. StarDuck opted for the 1 income with the high damage. 1 income from NaKsUtTaJa. And we're going to be looking at Maddogs with the 1 income. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at Miaouf's maze. The longest I could make. So Miaouf actually died with this. I'm a little bit surprised because it doesn't seem that much different than an angle here. I think that this depot extension might have definitely cost quite a bit. I'm not... I think that it doesn't really add that much time to the shooting time of this tower, and this tower could have had a lot more upgrades instead. But rather, I think that sometimes you just kind of get blindsided when you're making maze, and you just want it to be longer, but this didn't really add additional damage. Also, you could only get this 2.4 on the way to finish, rather than on every single way. Okay, why is SeJeY messing up? Oh, using these boxes, that's something which I hadn't considered, but it is taking off damage from here. And we're just looking at this 2.4. Oh, he's talking about missing this 2.4 right here. This 2.4 is essentially an income right there, because an income will give you 3. This is 2.4, and it's very negligible. And I wouldn't, in terms of grabbing lives, I would rather have the 2.4 and 1 income, fewer incomes, in order to just make sure that you don't die to something cheeky. Like, what if somebody peaks with a tower that they selected? For instance, if somebody went AA up here, just immediately swept a suicide link. 50 lives might not be enough of a buffer in order to last. Well, we see Yoonmeisters. Oh, that was a Scareling round. I meant to point that one out, but oh well. We see Scarelings are still just single target towers just don't perform as well on Scarelings compared to other towers, and that it's super important for that round that the Scarelings have that high max energy bar, because they'll take up to 450% more damage. Although that number might be a little bit bugged and not perform exactly perfectly, but we'll see. Okay, so we have these slow turn immunelings just going through. This TP isn't really very useful there, but so be it. Sometimes players will sell portions of their maze just to be slightly more efficient and make those work out, but not this time, I guess. Shmo, still really interested in how Shmo is competing, just because Shmo does not have that damage whatsoever. SeJeY has quite the long maze, actually, but just not having that damage because of the 2 incomes and opting to not grab this 2.4 on the way to finish, which does give him this additional length over here on the right side, which you'll see players like True are missing. It's just 2 connections right up here, but so be it. I guess that maze length might be worth it once the tower is maxed. We'll see. So True right now is adjusting the maze in order to have constant shooting during the Split Titan. Split Titan is a single target, so hopefully this works out. We're going to see how this maze adjustment works. So Split Titan is just going on, and see right here, when it is a single target, it's best to make sure that it just doesn't go out, so you're not wasting towers. But once it starts going into like these huge clumps, oh, where did it jump from that TP? Now this is looking like a more traditional wave with 8, so maybe it would be better to have this space in the bottom left in order to bring them back up. Looking at damage leader, Yoonmeisters is second, so let's just check out Yellow's maze once more. As you can see, just bringing it up and down, all the way down to 2. This is the type of thing which I'm talking about, because it has, on Trues you'll see, them jumping in and out, but oh well. Yoonmeisters quite strong. Okay, so SeJeY is opting for an additional income and skipping that 2.4 did not seem to pay out as much as they were hoping. But we have to give it to SeJeY that this is the longest maze. The E, for those who don't remember, was I think 600 or 700, 650-ish for each wave. And for only a 3% life reduction, it definitely wouldn't be worth it. Wow, so purple actually, NaKsUtTaJa took this wave. I haven't been paying close enough attention over here. It looks like it's the same traditional setup. Oh, but we have this weaving back and forth over here, which makes it exceptionally strong. You just get a lot more shooting time. So this might actually, looks like the same setup. Let's compare the tower damages to True. So True actually sold part of his maze in order to max this game. So True will definitely be the damage leader. We already see at 10k, 2,000 more than purple, but yeah, it still looks, I really like purple's format on this maze. I think for others to stay competitive, they're going to have to find a unique and creative way in order to use 140 damage as well. I don't know why it says Yoonmeister finished last. It's the exact same tower placement, so it might just be RNG, but we'll see. Still liking how StarDuck is surviving on the 60 damage. I think that I'm most impressed though by how Shmo is still surviving on this 20% damage. Just being down 140% is huge, especially once we see purple starting to use like these better ways for maze management. Just by adding several depots. I think depots were going to be 56 this game. Can you check over here? I don't think that you can. Depot cost, but once the game got a little bit later and you were able to add these depots in, things get stronger. As you can see, already salvaging these depots, and hopefully there's a right wing in order to sell even more depots, because Suicide Immuneling is actually not affected by them. Oh, still opting to grab this 2.4. True just has this up and down over here. And let's go ahead and look at yellow one more time. Yeah, so we definitely see purple and True are the two damage leaders right here, but Maddogs is still just holding on in for with a high damage over here. Again, I'm going to look at the cost. For those that don't know, you can go to balance under menu and look at the cost of each tower. An angle was 200 and an HD was 73. Okay, so the HD was tempting just because it was really cheap, but with a 61%, with a 4% speed seed, and speed being out of 61, it takes a lot longer for towers to become efficient. So I think that there was definitely time to get an angle up. But we do see NaKsUtTaJa coming back. And it looks like True is leading, losing that nice life lead. From one of the downsides is that you can't use these bottom left rocks very well with the setup, because you'd have to bring these, to bring them back for an additional pass, you'd have to wrap them up here, but there just isn't very much tower space. Maybe you can start using boxes in a creative way with a few range upgrades over here. It's difficult to tell, but definitely early game you cannot use it. It's definitely preferential that you just stay inside this maze, and that you just go ahead and wrap this way on down. I was still impressed that Shmo had survived this long with a 20% range. And maxed as well, but oh well. Okay, and we're going to be looking at True's damage as well right here. Yeah, True really seems to be just pushing it out. I think everybody's just being a little bit facetious right now because they're definitely they're all built on there, but they just don't want to admit that they are. Any type of mind game that you can do to mislead your opponents, I guess. GG, wrong tower. Yeah, StarDuck definitely opted for this high damage, but I think once you start going up here with an angle and that additional range, it definitely works out. Okay, so purple is, after being down most of this game and me not paying much attention to him, NaKsUtTaJa has swung back and gone ahead and grabbed the upper hand, taking the life lead, the damage lead, just with a superior maze up here. Really using this 2.4 effectively with these boxes. In order to match it, let's see, Maddogs. I think Maddogs might just die this way. It's going to be tough. The exact same setup as SeJeY previously, but yeah, with a high damage rather than anything else. The nice thing though is that he Maddogs was grabbing this 2.4 all the way. I wonder if SeJeY was able to do that with that angle tower that we saw previously. SeJeY was the one in the middle for those that need reference. Looking at damage, True still has the highest damage output. I think that's just because he's been damage leader for so long, 73, but NaKsUtTaJa just has such a longer maze. As you can see, they're already on the way to 2. They just hit 2, and they're only beginning to go that way for NaKsUtTaJa. Adding additional boxes as well. And I think this maze might have been sold in order to get additional damage on the suicide link. We'll see. Yeah, I really like Maddogs' length, but I just don't think it's going to be paying out. GG. Okay, so this game has ultimately ended up being between two different players, True and NaKsUtTaJa. They both have very similar setups. NaKsUtTaJa is opting for a second tower already. Let's see if upgrades go into it. And True is playing with a single tower that's overmaxed in order to get additional kills in the suicide lane. I think the second tower is going to be stronger for the scarelings. Maybe not on this round, but on round 27 when they pop up again. But that is a few waves later, and we'll see if True can even survive that long. I think that damage outputs are basically the same, and that I'm not sure how he is planning to get additional lives. Did upgrades go into this? Yeah, it's 25-25. Let's just check out Yoonmeisters one more time. Oh, going for a chain reaction. Chain's actually going to be really good on Scareling, and maybe on Split Titan too as well, because there will be enough kills. But maybe it wasn't the worst. It might have actually been a good pick. I just can't. Chain reaction only has 6 range, so it's difficult to tell how effective it's going to be, especially in these range spots over here, or these spots where you struggle to get range. Okay, but yeah, True definitely took that with this overmaxed tower, but the towers continue to be overmaxed. It looks like a little bit of length is added onto 2, but just I don't think it's going to become even close to purples, especially with a second angle tower, which is did I click on the wrong tower? There's no way they're both maxed. Okay, yeah. And oh, the second tower is it might still not be competitive this wave, but maybe in 1 or 2 more waves it will be maxed, and I'm not sure how the game's going to go from there. As you can see, damage is already matched between these two players, but maze length is going to be much further for purple. Actually, let's look at path length. Path length is 478 currently for NaKsUtTaJa, and looking at True, it's 457. You know what? I already forgot the number. 457 and 478. Okay, so only 25 difference. I wonder how efficient that is, because there's a lot of depots here for time which these towers aren't shooting, going down there, but NaKsUtTaJa has that exact same extension down here, so it's difficult to tell. I guess True has expanded, but just not in the exact way I'd imagined. And NaKsUtTaJa has changed the maze that's being used. We'll see if it gets changed again. Oh, whoa, Yoonmeisters took that one. Oh, that was because it was a Scareling with these chains and bounce, yeah. I did like NaKsUtTaJa's maze before. Let's see if it's changed back, or if this one is actually more efficient, because I didn't have the path length chosen and documented before in order to compare the two well. So yeah, we have 10 seconds left. Just upgrading this tower. I think True is still looking for expansions of this maze, but still has chosen... Oh, what kind of upgrade was that? So 3-3 and 2 between these two players, and we have a 3-1 and 0-2. So True is opted just to get additional range upgrades to make his single overmax tower more efficient. Might be good, we'll see. And yes, so now we're looking at Yoonmeisters one more time. And Yoonmeisters, I believe, has the shortest maze. It's quite a few kills, yeah. So still hanging in a little bit. Let's see if NaKsUtTaJa... Oh, nope, does not finish him. But oh well. It is going to be looking grim on this Split Titan, because neither Bounce nor Chain will kill them quickly. The first one quickly, and I think it's going to make a difference, but we'll see. Maybe there's enough time, which it will be dead with his chains. A higher coefficient will get into place, but it is tough to tell. I think actually a L splash, if you were trying to get the split Titan, would be good too. But I don't know how you would use it on suicidlings. Perhaps a flame? It's really difficult to tell. As you can see, it took a second for that, and this one's already on like 10 splitlings. This one's only in 5. And you can see that reflected in the damage in the top right, already dropping into the negatives. While Splash is and multi-shot targets are really good on Split Titans, it takes a little while for them to start being good. And not so much restricted multi-shot things like bounce or a chain reaction. Usually more splash items are good because Split Titans will stack so heavily. And this might just be the end for Yoonmeister. Yeah. Especially since True and NaKsUtTaJa both have longer mazes. So True is continuing to expand. And I'm not quite following this addition up here. But it looks like it is being sold for these suicidlings anyways. Maybe to go into the second tower. 85 upgrades here, and we have almost a second max tower that's second maxed. It does look like there's this wraparound on these rocks earlier, and yeah, these towers are being sold for suicidlings. I would have liked him just to sell these depots instead, because I think the depots cost more. But I guess this is just about remazing. But, for instance, True should just put all the depots in an easy spot in order to help remaze and just sell those. For instance, on this right wing, which is very easy to replicate. But let's go ahead and check out damage. So this one is at 3160. Just by selling the maze, you do jump up. It's super helpful on airwaves to do that. And then let's just look at this damn. It's 20k on the single tower. We'll compare damage at the end of the round and see how it happens. But yeah, I do believe True is going to be a 10 life difference right there. So that angle damage had 43k damage, and this is only doing 31. I guess that those damage upgrades really are paying for themselves. Except NaKsUtTaJa still has this really developed maze over here, swinging up and down. And I think this is going to be a very big game changer. Maybe if you could just grab, oh, it's already 2 range upgrades? Okay, hopefully this is enough. But this might just be the maze length that we've been looking for in the solution to this 140% damage. As you can see, 3 range upgrades is more than enough. You're already protruding down into this 159% by weaving up and down. I imagine 2 is going to perform well as well. Let's check it out, though. You barely stopped shooting right there for just a short while. The worst part is that you're mazing into the speed zone, which means that there's just less time to hit them. As you can see, this little segment right here, they just go through quite quickly, and that there's no gap, even though typically there might be. You start shooting here, and you're still shooting when these guys are all the way over here. But the Scarelings just move kind of fast by themselves, I guess, I suppose. So NaKsUtTaJa is actually just returning from one. Still hasn't gone back into tower range. True has. I do like the swing over by finish, actually. That's a creative use of that area. Actually, that's a great addition. Just getting that additional pass right there. I'm a huge fan of that. Because you're getting 1 pass on the way to 1, through the TP, and on the way back 3. And then maybe these shots are probably eaten up by finish, so you don't actually grab them. Because the creeps have already completed by the time the projectile hits them. But I think it's a really good addition. And we already see this 30 kill difference in the top right. Okay. And we just see constant remazing. Wow, 28 round maze. I like this. For game 1. Sometimes entropy games just finish quite quickly because nobody finds solutions or one is just much better than the other. But this one is pretty competitive between these 2 players. It's just so easy to die in entropy games that games can be over quite quickly before you even have any inkling of a clue of what you're going to be doing. So let's go ahead and check out this control follows function. Just going through the maze. I imagine that's actually quite laggy, so let's not do that. I'm playing on a 6-year-old laptop, which might not be appreciating it. I really like how these additions are just being added continuously, so making up for the speed zone wraps them around these bottom rocks. I don't think True has done that yet. I really do like this addition by Finish up here, but I just don't think it's going to be able to compete with the efficient use of this bottom left area. I think both of them could look to improve their maze in that way. In fact, I wish I think it's more important for True to have found this bottom left addition because he opted to overmax this his first main tower, which made that there'd be this window for damage. But wow, look at all this damage. They're still on the way to finish. Okay, and here we get the lives back, but True is shocked as well. But if you looked at the lives, actually, NaKsUtTaJa went down to maybe like 50 right there for a second. And that's just because True has more damage upgrades on his towers, and so there was higher damage output. yeah, I'm very impressed by this game. So, the more damage output meant that more damage was being done on the maze initially. However, NaKsUtTaJa just had such a longer maze with the towers continuously firing that it was able to overcome that. Okay. So we're looking at the Split Titan one more time. And both seem to be playing pretty efficiently. I actually really favor NaKsUtTaJa's maze for this one, just because, yeah, you're going to get this difference in the Split Titans where they occupy longer than a usual maze, and that the maze length is going to be super important because there's going to be a lot more shooting time. They're both coming out of TP1 right now. It looks like True might have extended a little bit, but I will check it after this. I just wanted to see constant shooting. Look at this difference in length right here. And that's just because there's a little bit of RNG between these, and the more that you kill them, the more they'll separate. True's is not separated very well based upon RNG, but let's see. True is selling his maze for the Suicidlings again, hoping to just try to get every single edge possible. And we have the single pass over here. Oh man, I really like NaKsUtTaJa's maze. I think that he's how many passes is that through these towers? So you're starting shooting up here, shooting here, and shooting there. You should get 3 shooting times. True only really has 2. 1, 2, compared to these 3. And life lead once more, but True actually had more kills. I think that might have just been based upon target firing. I don't believe he would have opted for an expensive E. Yeah. So True does have 2 incomes, but 6 range upgrades. 2 incomes and 3 range upgrades. I wish I could check how much Q upgrades were, because maybe these 9 are actually more efficient. Once your towers start costing once it starts costing a huge amount in order to upgrade your towers and damage, like it's 77 upgrades right here. Usually, that's quite a bit for the next one, maybe 80. And if a Q up is less than 160, it's cheaper to just buy a Q upgrade. Oh, and here we see NaKsUtTaJa's addition to the maze. This might just seal it. If True doesn't find an addition quickly in order to fix it, I think it's over. But just look. One of the really interesting things about Entropy TD is how the value of a tower changes, because a tower costs supply and so these boxes, but supply depots don't. But if you look at NaKsUtTaJa's maze, the entire thing is just made up of depots and boxes right over here. In fact, still more additions. I hope there are enough range upgrades to justify that, but it's just boxes and depots. And if you look at True's maze, look at all these towers. That's how you can tell, like, there's a difference in maze length, because NaKsUtTaJa is just so efficiently using all these depots and boxes. And that's really going to be the biggest difference, because one of the second problem is these cost actually quite a bit of money, but they do give more shooting time, so they're better for the towers that you have existing. But there are only 2 spots with this 140 damage. And so there's 140 damage. If you're going to build somewhere else, maybe you could use, there are no rock breaks. You can build in a 60 spot. That's basically it. So a 60% isn't going to compete with two 140s with a longer maze. Oh, and you see NaKsUtTaJa, this is just about that damage output. Let's look at True's damage. 85 and 65. Oh, and yes, here's exactly what I'm talking about. Rather than expanding his maze, with, I mean, there are quite a few depots, but this depot box-oriented, True's opted for a second tower, which is better on Scarelings. That's true, because the additional shots are going to be super important. But the maze is just so much longer on this side. I think that there are going to be a lot of kills on slow turn and split. But True, maybe based upon the wave preference, True might actually have something going for him, based upon this bounce tower being super strong on scare, because these energy bars, which I was talking about, when these energy bars are full on them, 150 energy, every single time they take a shot they get more energy, and they take additional damage based upon that. Oh, and you can see this is paying so much based upon that. But the difference is True's maze is done. Now we're going to look at NaKsUtTaJa just hitting 2, and now we're going to get these additional 3 passes shooting time. 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here for these 3 shooting times. Yeah, and definitely easily at least 80 lives. Oh man, might equalize it right there. It's always crazy to play against somebody with amazing skills like this because you kind of feel frustrated. You feel like they figured something out that you don't. But really, it's just like these small improvements which make it so difficult to play against. And here we are on wave 32. Oh, wow. 32. True is still... He's recognized that there's something wrong with his maze, but I think really it just has to be a complete restructure. True's trying to solve this by getting spamming a bunch of range upgrades, 7 range upgrades to shoot this whole time, and now we can just do these huge depot extensions that loop up and down, but maybe it'll pay out. Actually, this might be a better... there's definitely potential for this, because they're just going to be shooting this whole time, effectively using all of this area. Maybe range upgrades were cheap enough that the extensions didn't matter that much. And just looking at bounce, this bounce tower is going to be super strong on suicide and scarelings. We'll see about everything else though. Let's see how much additional time this we have a 665 length and we have 778. Oh, that's 100 more lengths still from NaKsUtTaJa. That is incredible. If you remember earlier, based upon without adding these depots, because depots are 0 supply, you can just infinitely add them. I believe their mazes were about 470, so NaKsUtTaJa, oh, here we go, yeah. NaKsUtTaJa added another 300 path length, which is crazy. Each path length, for reference, is the size of one circling, about this big. Okay, GG. And I'm going to actually update the score, and I will allow True to set up the lobby. Let me go ahead and PM him in order to do so. GG's, set up lobby while I update results. Okay, wow, that's crazy. Maybe it would have been nice if I had... I didn't have my bank so I could check everybody's income, but I think it's fine. Okay. So I'm going to be going onto the Entropy Reddit right now. I don't see anything else that is happening right there. And, wow, 33 comments on that thread. That's great. I like it, especially since if you look at everybody else, usually 4 comments is that high. Tournament results. Oh boy, I wish I had kept a... Oof, that is not good actually. I was not keeping track of who died when. Maybe I will update at the end of the tournament with results of each player. Okay, I don't know why that was not joined there, but hopefully we can fix that. A really nice game. Third. Yeah, that was quite the long maze. Yes, hopefully. Yes, who are we missing? Maddogs and Miaouf. Come join. I have PM'd. This is why it's so important to have everybody on your friends list, so you can just immediately set everybody through. I will recite that. I imagine they're just AFK. I didn't get the awesome part of... Oh, I don't think I analyzed that maze enough in order to see, but... oh well, I guess. So let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm missing one person. NaKsUtTaJa, I think. Let me just have a friend. 1203. Oh. Yes, actually, what they're talking about is it's really difficult to understand why their maze was better because they were both occupying the same amount of space. I think that part of it might have been using boxes on the very top side by NaKsUtTaJa in order to create additional passes, but it's definitely very difficult to tell because there are boxes or 1x1s instead of 2x2s. They occupy less space, so maybe he could have squeezed in more time which the tower was shooting, but yeah, potentially. Okay, everyone good? So they were both using space entirely, and it's really tough to tell how to improve a maze when space is being used like that. But yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, going. At 12. At 0, 0. Nice game, everyone. Oh, let's just start now. It would be nice to have official start times for these games, but it's difficult with Entropy games like this because you just never know how long they're going to last. Games can last 15 minutes, games can last an hour like that last one. It's based upon how close the competition is between the players and the maps as well. Hopefully we get a 41 speed seed in order to have this game go a little bit more quickly, but we will have to tell then, I guess. Okay, so I'm still trying to munch away at my breakfast. I'm gonna actually tab in and out of the stream really quickly and see how things are going. Hopefully they're good, and hopefully I do not drop. Okay. By the way, everyone, if someone drops before map selection, it's a remake. After map selection... Oh, I am not a voting person. Okay, good. I did not click R. As you can tell, I have high preferences for R. Let's go ahead and look at these seed lists. 84 supply, 33. Let's look at this 13 supply one. Sometimes it's interesting to look at these low supply maps and seeing how things happen. As you can see, there actually there's a TP, 4 checkpoints in like 3 mineral spots. It's pretty crazy. This map is funny because it's just a start to a finish, but there are 2 TPs in a mineral path, so maybe you try and spam towers all the way up and go and grab it. I'm not sure. Okay, this is a slightly smaller map. We see it's a 67 length by a 13. Thanks, everyone. Site all off. Site 6. Site off. Okay. So, I'm going to zoom out once more. This is a smaller map, more horizontal than anything else. So I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit. Okay, and we have 2 TPs over here. One out, a TP, 1 in, a 1, 2, and 3. So they're going to go from start to 1, to 2, to 3, to finish. And there are 2 mineral passes here. People will... Just Jay. Site 6. I am 6. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so this is going to be more difficult to get these 2 mineral passes. You might not be able to get full pass. It is 52 supplies, so there's a lot of room. Boxes are 39, though. 40 is quite expensive for a box for early game in order to get these passes. So players might not try and do it. I could see... let's zoom in a little bit. This is a full rock right here. So I I think because there's only one pass here and there are 0 rock breaks, that's exactly what I was talking about. You aren't able to get full passes right here. It's going to be, I don't know how you can separate this 2 and this 3. You might be able to do it with a cute configuration, put a little bit, but you can't get a full maze length. Typically, you want to get a full maze in between each checkpoint, so the creeps will have to go through your maze entirely each time, but you won't be able to. NaKsUtTaJa and Miaouf, please vision me. Tie. Okay. So it looks like Yoonmeisters is actually doing the most damage once again. And we just see this creative setup by sectioning off 1 and finish from there and grabbing a 1.6 on each way. That's quite nice, actually. I like that a lot. Because you're getting 3 passes on this mineral house, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to get 2 additional more on this 2.5. You might get a little bit less. I think you get less money than this 2.5 by doing this right here, by 1 mineral, but that highest damage is, I think, 3 minerals. So you get 1 mineral on wave 1 from this 1.6, because it's rounded down from the closest. It's rounded down to a whole number. So you get 1, 2, and 3 for wave 1, and this one would give you 1 and 2 for 4 minerals, but you also get highest wave damage here. So actually there's a net gain of 2 minerals, which is really small, but it's nice when you slow down other players' momentum so they can't rush you too hard, especially on crazy maps like this, where you definitely know something's going to be happening with this 100% damage and these slows here. Slows make creeps stack and go slower for more shooting time on the towers, so splash is super good, and typically you can just do more damage. Looking at these waves is unarmored, periodic, and explode. It looks like I would guess that there's going to be a splash for this unarmored and explode, and periodic are typically actually pretty weak, even if you don't get, and if you can time them so they stop inside these slows, it'll be really strong as well. Alright, so unarmored, actually, every tower is going to be doing 8 damage, at least, because they have -7, so every shot they take 7 additional. So I guess vision is still causing some complications, and I still can't see these upgrades that players are grabbing, which would be super important, so I should have just deleted my bank, but I guess it's not the biggest problem. Okay, NaKsUtTaJa, highest damage. Let's go ahead and check out this maze. Grabbing this 2.5, upgrade, damage upgrades, and we have a TP, so 1, 2, 3. We grab a pass on the way to 3 from this TP, on the way to 2, and on the way back from 3. Okay, so this is still, I still haven't really looked that closely at how this is going to go, but this might actually be the ideal setup in terms of just grabbing these TP. It's going to be, I don't know how you use this TP1 efficiently with a tower here. And I'm really interested in how much, what incomes players are grabbing. I'd imagine they would have grabbed 1 because it's only 90. And nobody would grab a Q, maybe, yeah, I feel like players would grab a... This 160, which NaKsUtTaJa has found, is definitely going to be where players are upgrading their tower. We already see damage upgrades going into it. But I imagine players are going to be grabbing 1 income, maybe 2 for that 184. It might be risky with the 160 damage and these slows here. Let's go ahead and look at possible tower selections. Oh, Big Splash is a little bit expensive. So I'm looking at splash towers which can use these slows, and when they kill explodlings next to each other, which deals half damage whenever one dies to the next ling adjacent to it, they die quite quickly in these slows with splash. So, and unarmored is going to be good against, splash is going to be good against that too, from dealing extra damage, and periodic is kind of so-so against every tower, except Rage, which was built for it. So imagining players are going to be going for some kind of splash. I think there are 9 creeps. A Taurus might be okay, but a big splash in this range zone right here might not use the 65% link speed very well. That's the biggest problem. And this is going to be pretty huge later once you start wrapping it up like this, like we've already seen NaKsUtTaJa doing a bit, but instead with boxes right here. And a creep that gets hit right here is probably going to be hitting all of these creeps. So the very first creep. Which would be quite nice. So maybe a Taurus would be good just for that additional pass, because this is going to be giving 3 on the way to 2, on the way from TP 2 in, and on the way from 3 to finish. So that might actually be quite strong. Other than that, I could also see a splash tower actually doing really well. It's just I'm not sure it has enough splash. It only has this 2 splash radius, and usually there's a distance of 3 between creeps, so you need a slow in order to bring it back. For instance, if 55% slow will make that 1.5, 50% slow will make the distance between creeps 1.5, so a 2 splash will hit both creeps next to it. I think these creep speed zones are probably enough, or definitely enough for a splash to be effective, but only hitting 3 creeps is not that good for unarmored. And while it might have a high damage coefficient for explode, it's questionable. Given the enough range, I would definitely prefer B-Splash, but there's no way it's going to hit over here without 2 or 3 range upgrades. And that might be a bit excessive. It's difficult to tell. Oh, I'm trying to sell you. Okay. So, I haven't been paying enough attention to other players' mazes. It looks like Maddogs has once again taken the life lead. I wonder if there's a queue up. Oh, there's no queue up. Where is this tower damage? Okay, right here on the 60, and it looks like just being heavily upgraded from a single shot tower. This is nice. I'm not sure how well it will do against an unarmored, given that anybody else has picked a tower. It looks like they have not. Picking a tower is pretty important against unarmored, because once you get, if you're doing a splash, you're hitting 3 additional tower creeps every single time. A minus 12 armor will give you, for 3 creeps, 36 additional damage every single shot, if you were able to hit 3 for a splash tower or something like that. But it doesn't quite look like anybody has chosen. I like these boxes, adding additional length. It looks like a good setup for late game. Although, I might have just cut them out early in order to get a little bit extra damage upgrades on my tower, but I guess it doesn't matter that much on unarmored lings. So yellow actually has quite a long maze, but it looks like that's because TP1 might be used? I'm not sure how they go into TP1 in, but it looks like there is a plan to do that in order to grab this wave 1.6. And, ooh, we see a bounce tower from NaKsUtTaJa. Doesn't really use these link speed slows, but maybe none of the splash towers were strong enough, or maybe it's just being tested out and seeing how it performs. Because it can be sold for, it can always be sold for money back, given that there's only 1 damage upgrade on it. And, yeah, wow, NaKsUtTaJa did have the most damage. I wonder if there's a queue up. No, there's no queue up, just a lot of towers, I guess, which are being used well. We got this 1.6 on the way to 1, and yeah, everything looks quite strong here. Oh, okay. Okay, Miaouf is, I'm assuming there's an income being grabbed here. Oh, and that's where the 1 point. Okay, I see how this is, I see how TP1 is used now. And you get this little additional money right here, 1.6 every single time. So 1.6 on wave 6 is giving you 9 extra minerals. Definitely hasn't paid for the box yet, but just having additional money in the system is good, because you can always sell this later and the money that you made previously is still there. Okay, let's look at Shmo. Wow, another bounce tower. I'm interested in why players think bounce is the best. Yeah, I would have opted for a Taurus tower like this. Of course, it is iffy, because Taurus actually does not have the highest damage coefficient. I believe it's 0.4, and it has 6 splash. Let's double check all of this. And so 6 splash, remember that there's a 3 distance between creeps, so it will hit 1 creep and the 2 on the sides without any slow. And so at minimum, it's going to hit 3 creeps for 1.2 coefficient, but it also has this 50% damage on its primary target. So at minimum, it's going to be doing 1. Wait, 6 is 5. Okay, so it'll hit 5 targets. But so it'll have a 1.8. But with a slow, like a 65% slow, I think there's a chance to hit all 9 of these with a single shot, which makes it super strong. But I guess we'll have to compare that and see actually how it does perform. Also, an unarmored ling, I imagine it's just going to be the damage leader. We already see... Oh, I guess it's only... it's still losing to Maddogs. I want to look at that maze one more time. Oh, and we have a chain reaction tower. That is cool. I did not consider that. I wonder... Let's look at costs one more time. Chain is cheap. Cheaper than Taurus. Oh, no, Taurus is cheaper. Okay. Actually, I should be hotkeying that like that. Okay, so now I can look at other players' mazes and just bring up my tower. So yeah, chain is cheap. I think it is actually pretty good. It's not very good on periodic, because once it fires a shot, it takes a while for the shot to deal damage, and periodic might turn invulnerable during that time, and you will lose shots. But it is super good against unarmored and potentially against explode. We'll see. Bum, bum. Okay, so we see NaKsUtTaJa leading once again on explode. And that was with a bounce tower. Very interesting. I'm still expecting... Oh, it's because unarmored wasn't there yet. I'm still expecting unarmoredlings to be... Taurus to be really good on that one. And Maddogs is still a life leader with this chain. Sometimes just being super decisive in the tower that you pick and just doing it quickly will get you a pretty high place just because you can rack up lives earlier than everybody else. Even if you don't get first, you'll still typically score pretty high and do well just by being decisive and executing well. I really do like this TP1. Maybe not. I feel like that TP1 edition is actually giving you money but cutting out your damage. Maybe it's best not to have it at this point where you're going to be racking up some kills. Okay. So looking at damage, let's go check out True. It only does 21 damage. Oh, it's so close from me being able to hit those two. Oh, okay, this is how we see True using this, so that you can get a shot here, a shot on the way back to 3, and a shot down here. And it does look like it's hitting quite a few creeps, and we can see that being reflected in the damage by already being at 28, so next leader's at 27. But, oh, it looks like he and NaKsUtTaJa are the ones that are still competing for damage, and his bounce is doing quite well. I think it's because of this TP1 out that's giving him this extra time. I'm surprised. Wow, I have 8 lives. That's depressing. Let's see how many points I'm going to lose. 1,200. Okay, not bad. Okay. So, I mean, I imagine, yeah, this is still going to be grabbed somehow. 1. Okay, there we go. I like this addition. So... Actually, there's no point in grabbing this 2 because you're going to be grabbing it on the way to 3 anyways. So, basically it's just on the way. So you might as well get an additional pass on your creeps. So there's going to be time over here where the tower's not firing that creeps will hang out before they come over here and hit this again. I'm really impressed by NaKsUtTaJa's amazing this game. It's there are just additions which I didn't consider while watching this. Not to say that I would consider all of these variations. I'm probably an average player among them, and these are all... very seasoned veterans that are probably better than me. Okay, they're grabbing this TP2. Okay. So NaKsUtTaJa is still damage leader. Let's look at Orange. We haven't really looked at Shmo this game. He had an interesting game last time, but... Ooh, so not grabbing this 2.5. I guess Shmo is doing that to save towers in order to have additional upgrades on his bounce tower, but I don't think I think the mineral deficit which he's facing right now might actually result in fewer upgrades on his tower, plus just diminished length compared to something like NaKsUtTaJa has, which is definitely going to be affecting everything. As you can see, 7,000 damage. That's crazy. But Shmo's still adjusting the maze, trying to figure out the best way. Oof. GG. So I can't check the tower price on that anymore, but oh well. I wasn't doing it anyways. Okay, so we're still just looking at this bounce and getting this additional time from TP1. I guess you also probably get an additional pass up here from this bounce too, which is quite nice. Yeah, and I really like this addition up here. Just giving you so much extra time. I wonder if you could even shift this tower up 1 and put another tower here. Maybe not. It's difficult to tell. Okay, let's go ahead and look at SeJeY. Oh, and here's the big splash which I was talking about. I really did think that it was going to perform well, but I guess I was wrong. Part of it might have been the 2 incomes behind it. I knew that 1 income was going to be grabbed. 2 might have been greedy. Oh, I haven't been looking at everybody's income. That's because I just died, so I just got the ability. I really hope SeJeY performs better though, because this is... I was heavily debating this setup. Let's go ahead and look at Shmo. Oh, 2 incomes as well. TrueAlcove. 1 income with this Taurus. Ooh. So, I think that... I'm really torn on the one income here with Taurus, because Taurus, I'm not sure how it's gonna, I think it performs worse late game actually. And you're already not winning damage. But I'm not sure. Okay, let's look at Yoonmeister. Ooh, D field. So D field might be good on Unarmored and Explode because it kills all the things next to each other. But on Periodic, if they are invulnerable during the D field, you just instantly don't do any damage on that wave, which is very iffy. Typically against Periodic, you just want longer mazes so you can shoot when they're not. But then also you lose projectiles and stuff like that, and it's kind of complicated against the invulnerability. And we have one income here. Okay, now we're looking at NaKsUtTaJa. 0 incomes. Okay, that is the important part that I wanted to check, because he is definitely damage leader and life leader as well, applying huge pressure to every other player, but doesn't have any incomes. If for instance, NaKsUtTaJa did have an income, or maybe even 2, and was doing this, there'd be almost 0 way to come back. But I wonder if the players have been able to tell, just grab this first income. I wonder if the players are able to tell that that was late based upon the early damage. Sometimes you can tell, just based upon how much damage output people are having, whether they've grabbed something. Obviously they can hold money and stuff, but it's all very iffy. If they are having low damage, typically you just assume that they've grabbed an income. Otherwise they're just being inefficient with their money and not spending it. I like the small edition by Miaouf. Seems fairly decent. Let's go ahead and check out StarDuck. I haven't really paid enough attention over here. StarDuck's actually a pretty decent player. I enjoy playing with him. But those 2 incomes seem to not be treating him very well. In terms of lives anyways. It looks like damage is being narrowed out and he's barely losing lives. I think part of it is this is addition, which is giving additional money, of course, to NaKsUtTaJa. And an additional pass on this bounce. So maybe this was helping to make up for that income, which is 3, so this is half of that, plus the highest damage bonus. So compared to StarDuck, might have additional money, but with those 2 incomes, maybe it paid off. Maybe within a few rounds, the StarDuck will be able to come back and have additional upgrades in this tower. Let's see, 30-48 compared to 30-41. Yeah, there are additional towers upgrades in this tower. The incomes have paid for themselves. We just need this additional bonus up here in order to match NaKsUtTaJa's maze. Even has the exact same setup over here. Actually, no, has chosen not to give up 2 yet, which I think is important. Okay, let's go ahead and look at Maddogs. Okay, let me actually record player score this game. That would be quite useful. I guess I was not the best moderator. So game 2, we're looking at SeJeY, Miaouf, Yoonmeisters. Okay, and Maddogs chain is still not doing, still very competitive actually. Let's go ahead and look at True with this Taurus tower. Did opt to grab this TP one out. Good, I'm glad for that. And no more shots taken. And NaKsUtTaJa still has his longest maze just because of choosing to give up 2 right over here. I think players might be confused by that, because that is actually just a brilliant decision in order to have this additional time over here. Even just this few shots are giving him the edge over, for instance, Shmo, which is within 200 damage. Let's go ahead and check out Shmo one more time. Oh, gave up 2 as well. The same setup. Actually, let's see. Is this 2.5 being grabbed by Shmo? I'm gonna have to watch this maze. I think that just might be messed up and not being paid attention to, because it looks like it's meant to be caught. Grab this 1.6. No TP2 went out from Shmo either, though. Okay, 2 incomes, which is nice. And here we go. They're going through. They're going through. Oh, and it just stops right here instead of going all the way around. Okay, that makes sense. So it's a little bit shorter compared to NaKsUtTaJa. Oh no, NaKsUtTaJa does the exact same thing. Okay, my mistake. Looks like Shmo was fine, just not grabbing this TP1 out, so he's suffering a little bit of maze length issues. Yeah, okay. Slightly regretting this tower choice, I guess. It's understandable. I was not imagining bounce, but most players have chosen to pick that one for this game. So maybe I was the one that was a bit delusional. I wasn't paying close enough attention. Oh, I don't know why NaKsUtTaJa opted to... Was that a 1, 2? I kind of liked giving up 2 before. I was a big fan of that setup. And here we go. TrueAlcove with slightly more damage, but 10 more kills, and that's because of the way that Taurus operates, killing things inside the slow. All of these units have each other's health, and this is exactly what I was talking about with the Taurus tower pick. And we see, just try to utilize this slow as best possible by using these boxes, just to add a little bit more length there, which so his shots will deal more damage. On the way there, oh no, we see this exact same thing of going on the way to 2 and on the way back. And I really like all these additional towers too, just very efficiently using it. I do like True's odds in this game, especially since I imagine True will be damaged later this game based upon his tower pick. But why is StarDuck doing so much damage with the bounce? Oh, maxed speed. Let's look at True. Maxed speed as well. Wow. StarDuck is just playing very well, I guess, in terms of speed and everything else. He seems to be doing oh, here we go. True is finally starting to dwarf other players. Maddogs is competitive because Chain is just really good on this wave, but I guess that's it. Also, they're missing this tower, this additional pass over here, which players are using with these boxes. For instance, NaKsUtTaJa is using this with these boxes in order to grab it on the way to a shot on the way to 2 and on the way to 3, following my mouse cursor, and on the way back, of course. I think I would prefer a few boxes going up here, like True is doing. Let's just go check out his maze one more time. Just because it's slow, because it's 65%, essentially we can consider that a 50%. And any maze length that is added from here doubles the length because creeps are moving slower in them, and splash towers perform better against them. Although I guess that doesn't really matter for bounce. I think the only thing that StarDuck was missing was this TP1 out, and everything else was played fine. Everything else was actually good. Compared to like NaKsUtTaJa, it seems essentially the same. 160%, and True is finally taking it with that Taurus tower. Very nice. 2 incomes from NaKsUtTaJa. Let's check out 1 income. And here we have with Shmo. Okay, Shmo seems to be playing quite well, actually. Even with these little fewer lives, still very competitive in damage, with these 2 incomes. And going ahead and grabbing these mineral passes from these boxes. I still wish... this was not something that was intuitive to me, but it's making such a big difference by grabbing this additional 1.6 and this additional pass on the bounce. I think that would just make all of the difference once that's taken. Really still enjoying these boxes. Okay, there's the range up, so they can be hit over here. I think that's super important. Just a few more seconds of being hit, but because they stack, you're definitely going to be hitting all of them, or most of them. Yeah, as you can see, because they're weaving back and forth, when shots are fired in this crevice right here, they actually go across all of this area, and they will hit creeps everywhere. So that's one of the reasons that Taurus is so nice. And all these damages are just so close. I really think that Shmo might actually be a damage leader, given that he just grabbed this TP1 out. But it's difficult to say, because you might have fewer damage upgrades in your tower, and etc., etc. Okay. So this game did move faster than the last one, I want to say, but it's still difficult to tell. And our 2 leaders, once again, are TrueAlcove and NaKsUtTaJa in terms of life. While everybody else is super competitive in damage, especially Maddogs with his chain reaction tower. I think that these are the 2 players that are really, I think Mazing is the one that's really differentiating them. Like, especially NaKsUtTaJa. Yellow's just done such an amazing job this game with getting this additional pass on the 2.5 early, and identifying this TP1. True has always been the one. I think last game, similarly, there was... Oh no, actually, this is a change scenario. NaKsUtTaJa last game grabbed the additional income with the angle tower compared to True, who had only grabbed a single income with angle. But True is always, though, he definitely catches up on these mazing, and I think the tower choice is what's going to make the difference. But the main reason between these two players right now is that they're finding these small efficiencies in these maze skeletons, which they have. Every single player this game, in these last few games, have had the same essential maze skeleton. Like, they have the exact same format, or in terms of like grabbing that TP1 on the right side of the last map and mazing around the top left, and like the way that they connected 1 and finish last game. This game you see the same way with these same connections on these 2 and 3 over here. So you could call these maze skeletons in the way that like they have the same essential setup. Maddogs is remazing right now, but they all did. And these same areas over here, it's just the difference was that NaKsUtTaJa quickly identified that this TP1 out was important. Another player did too, I forgot who, but they were using 2 boxes instead of an additional tower right here, which that 40 extra minerals is huge early game. And then quickly using some cute stuff with these 2 and grabbing additional passes. True grabbed that as well, but he just did so later, which is strong. I'm not sure what this box does. Maybe it's just to ensure that this 2.5 is grabbed after this TP2. No, I don't think this box is needed. Maybe just that tiny little edge might be important for splash. So it's just these like small optimizations which are making a difference in terms of these mazes. And I think the difference is going to be between their towers right now. I'm still a really big fan of the Taurus tower compared to that bounce. Just based upon how it's going to be used in these splashes with these mazes. I think it's going to be hitting so many targets. But NaKsUtTaJa keeps surprising me with this bounce tower. Oh, it's because there's a chain reaction now too. And that's why it's able to stay competitive on this map, on this wave. Because before, True should have been doing a lot more damage in terms of just speed being hit against these unarmored lings, because every single time these unarmored lings are hit, they get an additional 43 damage done to them, even though they have incredibly high HP compared to others. You can see 2,555 compared to the 420 of periodic. So kills are harder, but they do come faster because each tower is doing perhaps, like right now, 50 damage a shot with their unarmored plus the base damage of the tower, 44 damage. So I really expected True to just dominate this wave. Definitely did. Knocked out Shmo this game. GG. Let's write down Shmo to keep track of this. But it wasn't as close. It was a lot closer than I imagined because of that second tower choice. Was that first bounce maxed? Oh, it was, essentially. Very strong. Let's go to menu and balance right now. Angle tower. How much was bounce? Maybe bounce was just cheap. 147 compared to a Taurus, which was, I believe, 100 something. Taurus tower is 136. So Taurus was actually cheaper. Very interesting. Mad Dog is still competitive with that initial chain. Pretty big fan. I don't think it's a problem. I think chain is going to suffer on periodic right here. But so does Taurus, because Taurus has a long range and the splash takes a second to hit everybody. So maybe it won't be the death of NaKsUtTaJa for his second tower compared to True. And we're still sitting on 1 income. We have these 2 incomes, and is True sitting? True has opted to finally grab a second income. I think True was sitting on 1 income earlier, and that might have given NaKsUtTaJa the edge in terms of grabbing lives earlier, but we will see. I haven't been keeping up with maze length, but we look at True and 482 path compared to NaKsUtTaJa's 498. So NaKsUtTaJa actually has a longer maze and slightly less damage at this point in time. So maybe it's going to turn out okay. We will see. It's very difficult to tell who's going to be the damage leader right now. And wow, this chain reaction is definitely going up quite quickly. I wonder how much money is in these games right now. And there's that finish. So it does look like True is going to win this one, even with the slightly shorter maze. Oh, Mad Dog actually has the longest maze. Very nice. Let's see. Wrapping around. This is the addition that I was talking about here. Maybe you could push these towers up a little bit, just so you get max shooting time on that side. I really like this addition. Nice job, Mad Dogs. But But sitting at 1 income, still on a single tower that's being overmaxed with shorter range. That's why these 2 range upgrades are needed. And grabbing a Ling Life, trying to stay in it. Ling Lives are important on Explode Lings because the faster they die, the more the damage they deal to their teammate Lings. So it's important that they grab those. Let's actually check and see if True has grabbed a Ling Life. 1 Ling Life here, let's see, NaKsUtTaJa. And 0 Ling Life. So I'm expecting True to get maybe 30 more kills in this wave, which is going to put NaKsUtTaJa in a very scary position. And I hope True doesn't go for... I would have started a second tower on this 160 range. The fact that NaKsUtTaJa did not see that second spot is going to probably be the death of him, because it's competing with a tower that's doing 60% more damage. Given True can't really know that, but if the second tower was maxed and they were competing 2 max towers, True would be doing a lot more damage in terms of kills. As you can see, we already have 10 more kills by True, and I think that they're on their way to 2 right now, so maybe it'll be even more than a 20 kill deficit, or what my prediction was. And oh, Maddogs is suffering right now. We can really see the power of Taurus finally coming in, just using all of these slows and killing additional players. If you actually look at True, you'll see that he's firing at these middle of this pack. Rather than shooting at the very front, it will only hit the first half, but when you target fire the middle of the pack, you actually hit additional links because of the how Splash works. And wow, okay, that's 50 damage, 50 kill difference, 48, 249 to 201. That's even bigger than I had anticipated. And yeah, I think it came down to these 2 players once again. I don't think TrueAlcove is actually going to win this wave though, because NaKsUtTaJa has a second tower, and the second tower I don't think he has pumped additional upgrades into. It's difficult to tell. But yes, it's quite strong. I wonder if NaKsUtTaJa knows it is Taurus. I think that Yellow might be assuming that it's actually a chain reaction. But what's really going to be hurting is not building on the second 160 spot compared to True. True should realize now, just based upon the damage, that typically more towers will perform better on these unarmored Lings because they're going to be shooting faster. You can see how quickly these projectiles are shooting, or I hope you can anyways. And these unarmored Lings are taking 47% extra damage from every hit. So they're taking, like, obviously, NaKsUtTaJa knows that there's a tower that's hitting quite a few, but True should know now that NaKsUtTaJa has a second tower that is shooting, and that's why the damage is being hit out, because True had been winning this wave previously every single time. And I think True might be able to deliver a death blow on the next Explode Lings. I don't think that there are going to be enough lives recovered from these previous 2 rounds, this round, and the periodic is very questionable with this chain in order to secure enough lives, because there was a 48 difference before. Okay, and I'm glad things are still semi-working in the stream. I'm just checked in. Ooh, but I should have been looking at the Twitch chat. I am so sorry for ignoring that. This is my first time streaming. Or casting a tournament, I should say. So it's a little bit more difficult. I also think Entropy is just a difficult game to cast because you have no idea what's happening on the map before. What is this big mistake that I'm not seeing? I wonder if there's a hole. I don't see it right now, but maybe. Oh, upgrading on that 100. Okay, so True actually upgraded a second tower on this 160. So, it is not a big mistake, but NaKsUtTaJa did the exact same thing. Okay, I'm going back. Okay, yep, no, you're right, entirely. But True actually just chose not to do it as well. Look at this. Oh, this is dreadful. Didn't want to advertise too well. The quality. Okay, so I'm looking at this Taurus tower. It is looking quite strong. Okay, I'm gonna actually just Twitch chat settings. Let's yeah, okay, looks good. Okay. So True, oh, and there we have for the GG. I tabbed out for that one, sorry. I thought it would be on Explodlings, but I guess Changes doesn't really perform very well on these periodic lings because it loses its shots. Both chain and bounce. On periodic, yep. That's that was the problem. I feel like both didn't build on the 160. GG. Ooh, okay. So I'm actually gonna play again, and maybe I'll be the one that remakes the lobby. It looks like nobody else is True is still inside the arcade game. Wow, and everybody's already joining. That's funny. Because I didn't invite anyone. But that's the good thing about being on a friends list. People can just join. And Yoonmeister. True is already in this game, and we need Miaouf. Let me whisper him. Game done. One more. And we need NaKsUtTaJa and Miaouf. SuTaJa and Miaouf. Usually experience more bug onlines. Ah. Okay. Have to rejoin. Actually, oh, I should have tried to drag myself down. I don't think that really works, though. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to try and rejoin now. I'm not sure. Miaouf might be AFK. Yeah, I wonder if I'm saying that correctly. I am not sure. Really should have deleted my bank so I could see people's incomes, but perhaps next time we can do that. I think... I keep meaning to PM True, but oh well. Okay. Give it, So either we wait a short while, maybe at like 12:43, or we can start now. I'm gonna say we'll just go at 12:43. I will continue to PM. That would be ideal. Okay. I guess that might make me the 8th spot. I'm not sure. Invite once. Okay, True's already on top of it. True's a quite good administrator, actually. I'm a big fan. Whew. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna... Yep, I agree, SeJeY. These games are pretty funny. Players are just dropping like flies. Like it's weird though. NaKsUtTaJa is playing super aggressively, and he's not grabbing incomes very early. Or that second game he didn't, but he was just using all the mineral passes on the money on the ground very well. But I really do think that Taurus was probably the tower to start with. Okay, let's Okay, don't know if the last game would have changed if I had made my CR as my primary. Chain reaction. So NaKsUtTaJa still thinks chain reaction is good. Yeah, but I don't want to wait. Or that. I don't have these players. Oh, I do have Trevor on my. It looks like they're in game though. Well, he left the arcade game. Actually. Okay. Oh, I meant to promote TrueAlcove to lobby host, so they, I wonder if they're kicking each other successfully or not. We'll see. Also, I shouldn't be using these acronyms like rejoin. It might be a bit confusing. Or just invite and go. Either way. Yeah, I just realized that. Okay. Wow. We have 6 whole viewers on this Entropy stream. Great. I'll just rejoin. Okay, no. It looks like it worked out. Okay, and this is going to be our last game of the tournament. And I do not have a good color. Purple is it is. Okay, everyone. Thank you, StarDuck. But how does chat and Twitch go? I'm still a novice. A second computer. Last game, everyone. So can't invite everyone? Okay, I think we have all 9 though. Okay, well, going. Okay, and here we go. I gotta get more sleep. Yes, like I said, StarDuck and I were playing last night with True, and we were up quite late, but so be it, the entropy life. Still just nursing this coffee. Okay, so this is our last game. I think we've actually had 2 really long competitive games against primarily NaKsUtTaJa and True. Everybody else has hung in there fairly well. It's just those 2 seem to be the ones that enter the late game with the strongest position, where they can compete for lives. Right now that they're 1 for 1, and let's see how this game goes. Oh, I was not supposed to vote. I'm just going to change my vote to 1, and hopefully that doesn't affect anything. I'm just too strong on autopilot. Okay. I voted accidentally. So my vote is for 1 ATM. Sorry. I was hoping people wouldn't. Alright, let's look at this 2. Oh, 110% on this 2. I wonder why 2 is of interest to people. It looks like there's a TP at 2.6 up there, really open map, and 58 supply. Basically. Thank you, Yoonmeisters. That's exactly what I'm saying. They're just grabbing everything right now. It's like people listen to my stream. Okay, let's just check out points one last time, see where I'm going to drop to. Okay, I'll be at 55. Alright, so. Oh my gosh. I woke up and got into my chair. Good luck, have fun everyone. So the very first thing which I'm going to say is that it's super important to grab income early because you're going to get your money back earlier and faster, and typically 99% of situations you want to grab the income first. Sometimes the life lead is super important. I think that you get less income from winning the first few waves than like additional money that an income gives you, so you might as well just earning back the income now. So I fully expect everybody to go for the bonus income. The only reason people would not go for this bonus income right now, since it's 52 and you can grab it up right off the back, is if players want to slow the momentum down to other people. I don't know how subtle this game is going to be. I feel like this 110 is super important. And oh, is this a voted map? I think this is the map that we were looking at before and I was questioning. I do like the game though, because I feel like players, it's difficult to tell what tower is going to be a favorite. I think an HD might be super strong on these bosslings and with explodlings. So yeah, HD or charge might be really strong. I could see it being super important. Anyways, oh, you might also grab the income in order to get that 2.6 a little bit faster for these next 2 waves, because I'm not sure you can get full pass on it. And let's just look at SeJeY. I do not have vision. Let's vision me. Okay, so I'm curious whether or not that was meant to grab that top side up there. Yeah, we can already see it. We have a full pass on this top. Ooh, maybe not full pass, but close to full pass. I'm not sure how you grab full pass yet. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna look at true as a standard. Yeah, grabbing this TP, going on up and around. So yeah, maybe it was fine not to do that, so you could have this money for these towers in order to get that. Although maybe there's still an income. It's difficult to tell. 60, 12. How many towers are there? 3, 5, 8. Yeah, maybe, yeah, I guess you do have enough money for towers regardless, so you could have grabbed the income, I think. And this is the longest maze. Maddogs had the highest damage. That's because, like me, we put damage into these towers early because we've already decided where we're going to build. I really like this idea because this 11060 is definitely where it's going to be built. Maybe you could play a little bit and maybe like build down here instead. It's difficult to tell which one is the right one. Lumi used to stream his Entropy games. Not anymore. And they're taken down from Twitch. So I'll upload these. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and look at these games, I guess. I hope so. I wouldn't even mind. It's a month. Oh, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see SeJeY's. And this is the full pass that I was talking about. Oh, that's an 80 range. I did not even see that. That's great, especially since you might be able to grab this 55% slow. But maybe this, I'm not sure. Let's look at this tower which I have placed. Yeah, it looks like you might have range up there unless you're going for like a B splash or something. But I would actually opt for either a sniper tower or a high damage. Probably a sniper, just a high damage, because when you look at the two, it looks like high damage is going to be shooting the whole time with a 1.9 coefficient compared to the sniper's 1.47, which is just lower. So you will actually just do less damage with the sniper, even if you can get more shots fired. But with this range spot, and I mean, ranges are kind of cheap maybe, but it looks like you're going to be shooting this whole time anyways. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be the biggest worry, just building an HD right there. Okay, and we're looking at Shmo. Let's just check out this maze once really fast. Trying to see if that's full pass is gotten. Yeah, it looks like there might be full pass on this. Yeah, there is full pass. It's inverted compared to SeJey's maze, which I was looking at before. So I think that more towers might be used. It's kind of tough to tell. But what's really important is that this TP1 is on the way to finish. Let's look at SeJey's maze instead. TP1 is on the way to 1, so what's actually going to happen on these drop bosslings is that as they hit this TP1, after being off from 1, they're going to come out of this TP1 out and go straight to finish. So I was actually questioning Shmojelfed maze at first. I'll show everybody on drop boss. I'll be looking at SeJey's and then rotate over to Shmo so we can all see that. But Shmo definitely has the correct maze. Let's see if SeJey recognizes that and does something later. Let's go ahead and look at NaKsUtTaJa, because once again, Orange has the longest maze somehow, just ridiculously long. But it does look like TP1 is on the way to 1 again, so this might have to be remazed. Okay, beautiful. Oh, so Yoonmeisters has the most damage. TP1 is not on the way to finish. This is just something that's super tricky, and like I mess this up all the time. You just have to make sure that you constantly have the you're paying attention to the waves, because drop boss is the one thing that's going to affect it, and drop boss is going to have so many lives, because the only lives which you're going to be able to get are on drop boss and explode. Bonus lifelings, you get lives every single time, but if you get like 100 kills on drop boss, the bonus boss lifeling bonus is not going to really matter that much. So I imagine most of the kills are going to be on drop bossling and exploding. Yoonmeisters did opt for the sniper tower. Really nice, because you get this early damage going out, and so we'll be getting these damage bonuses, but late game it might not work as strong with the coefficient. It depends on how this mazing works out. But I'm just looking at the range. He did have the range accessible earlier, and it went all the way down here. So it looked like a lot of this range is actually being wasted, which is the strongest aspect of sniper, especially on this 80% range. And it just has a lower damage coefficient. So I'm not sure how well it's going to transition to the late game, but I guess we're just going to have to check that one out. So let's go ahead. Yeah, definitely still the damage leader though, so which is really nice, but not the longest maze. Let's go ahead and look at, I haven't checked out Miaouf yet. TP1 is on 1 as well. Oh, opting for multiple towers being upgraded. This isn't that bad. It lets you compete early game for damage. It just looks like other people have already selected their towers. Maybe there might even be a queue up. Let's check out these damage upgrades. No, okay, so NaKsUtTaJa has just jumped them all into 1, picked his tower placement. And we see still at TP, is it even, I can't even tell if TP1 is being used for this setup. But, yeah, and True has already opted for a bounce tower with his TP1 down here. So let me see, Shmo was the first one to have TP1 on the finish, and let's look at SeJey, TP. Okay, so we see SeJey cannot have him go through this TP1. I'm just trying to check out somebody else. If the had came, these drop boss things would enter TP1 and come out right here and go straight to finish. But instead, what's going to happen is Shmo. Oh, did they enter that already? But they have to go through this entire maze because this TP1 was on finish. I'm not sure how they hit that. I thought that they wouldn't have. But okay. Oh, there we go. So it was not used. The drop boss links used that. So the drop boss, like the actual overlord, to hit this TP1, and that's why it showed that it was used. But as you can see, it went all the way around. And we're just like looking at length. Look at SeJey's damage. 394 compared to Shmo, who's just still going with his 1900. And that gave him 3 kills just from that single spot. So I really like Shmo's position. I thought True might actually do more damage with already choosing a bounce tower, but I guess just having a stronger mass was more important at this point. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, let's check out Yoonmeister, because the good thing is the sniper also shoots at 2 units, and there are at least 2 for bonus boss and drop boss, so this might actually work out perfectly fine. I'm still interested to see how this comes out, but Yoonmeister has to fix this TP. I believe that Yoonmeister sold these towers on CP1 before, and so that wasn't a problem, but we'll see. So it's difficult to tell who has the best maze setup. There are quite a few to look at. I don't know how I would maze this map yet, but if you look at the center spot, there's just a lot of wasted space on here from the start, because you wanted to start and finish as your even checkpoints, 0 and 2, to be on the same side and as close together as possible. And maybe this is the best way, I'm not sure. What is StarDuck? Oh my god, about? We have this HD, that's what I would have done. Competitive damage. Yeah, I'm looking at this. Yeah, everything looks fine to me. So this is what I was talking about. Okay, this is... I think when you have this TP1 on the way to finish, this is the way to do it. You have finish connect down here. I really wish that maybe these 3 depots were down here and you brought some towers down here. And hopefully... Let me check my tower. Where am I? Oh, this tower does not have range to shoot down here in these areas. I would have had, like... these towers down here... and then on the way out, come down here, and you get an extra shot down here, maybe with a range upgrade. Let me see. I got a 1 range upgrade. Oh, you might even need, yeah, it looks like you would need a 2nd range upgrade to effectively use that. Whose maze was I just looking at? I'm gonna look at Shmo's one more time. No, that is not where it's being used. I've lost the maze. That's embarrassing. Oh, okay. True's finally doing this. So yeah, this is on True's maze, which I'm talking about. Just coming on down here and trying to get damage over here. But it looks like True has not gotten full passes on this 2.6, opting to get a more efficient maze in terms of towers down here. I really liked how that was being grabbed before. And, oh, TP1 is being used there. Whose maze do I really like? Why am I... Okay, so I think I would try and have this over here, like this. Okay, it was Shmo's maze. But you'd also definitely need another tower upgrade or 2, and I'm not sure why these towers aren't hugging the edge, because this is, when you look at zoom out on this map, I should have done that at the very beginning. This is going to be a huge section of the area. It's a 31 by 28 map, and this is going to be an important part to look at. And this tower is not going to have the reach. If you look at this tower, I imagine it already has range being wasted on this side over here, where it can hit, but there isn't any room to maze. But over here isn't. I haven't looked closely enough at this maze. Yeah, I think so. This tower was placed right here in order to get us this extra little bit of length, and so this is more of a kill move because it kind of sacrifices later game extension on this side by a little bit. Oh wow, look at that sniper performing. I was not expecting that. That is good. I like that a lot. I was not anticipating that at all. So this is more of a kill move though, because it adds a little bit of length, and it is more of a centralized location, so you can hit over here, but it's going to be harder to expand over here. So hopefully Shmo is applying heavy pressure on that side, or that's what I would want to say. Actually, now in retrospect, I'm actually thinking about it, and Bounce is a better tower than HD. That's because Bounce hits 3 targets, the initial, and then bounces 2 more times. And with a 0.7 coefficient, that brings it to a 2.1 damage. If you think about high damage, it's only doing 1.9. So there's a difference of 0.2, and that might not seem a lot, but when your tower fires at, you know, like 10,000 times, and there's a 0.2 difference, suddenly that's like 2,000 damage, and you start doing a... with a bunch of damage upgrades too, it gets a little bit out of hand. And I mean, I think that's actually 200 damage, but it doesn't matter. The damage starts to get out of hand. Just even a little bit of coefficient difference, if you have the exact same maze and given everything else is equal, the higher coefficient will win, and then you'll just start to snowball with the income bonus from winning every round. The highest damage bonus. So let's go ahead and look at this. Oh yeah, and here's Shmo's damage that I really liked. I still think this is my favorite setup. Really impressed by how much damage that sniper is doing. But I really would have preferred it to be on this spot because it would have allowed room for a second tower a little bit more on this side. it would have sacrificed a wee bit of length, but then you would have also had more expansion potential over here, given maybe 2 range upgrades. Okay, so Shmo's the leader. Let's go ahead and look at StarDuck one more time. This is the HD. This was my gut reaction. Already expanding down here in this way. This is exactly what I was talking about. TP1 is unfinished. This is very good. Yeah, I like to know this. Oh, and there's no rock break. I actually don't know how I feel about that aspect of entropy. I feel like it's like saying there's no queue up in one of these upgrades. Like, there's the chance of queue is being randomized to have it or not. And it doesn't seem as much in the spirit of the game. But I also understand because it's a novel mechanic relatively. It was just added, and rocks were like foundational to the way the game is played. But yeah. Maybe there should just be more variance in the cost of a rock break. Although I also just like the way that it is now, because when there's no rock break, you don't have to think about it at all, and then sometimes there's a rock break, and all you do is think about how to use it efficiently, because the one that uses it efficiently is going to be the one that wins, but yeah. Okay, so Shmo is looking quite strong right now. Once again, I'm just looking at damage output, and let's go ahead and jump to NaKsUtTaJa also, because NaKsUtTaJa is the one that's competing most direct with Shmo. Oh, actually, Yellow, Yoonmeisters, and Maddogs are the ones with the longest maze. Here we still have Maddog with a sniper tower. Ooh. Okay, so we have the sniper tower. It is the longest maze, and that is really good, though. It should be, because... it should be, since the sniper has the most range. You can use basically effectively every single part of this map. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go earn these points against them later in public lobby and make them realize that none of this really mattered, because I'm gonna take them right back. So let's see, Maddogs. Really like the snipers firing just the entire time. I like the single income. I think it's going to be really cool once we start using these boxes down here, but this TP needs to be fixed. It is making every single other wave a lot stronger, but you're going to get so many kills in this drop boss thing, and you can't effectively use that TP. I hope Maddog realizes this in time, because he's definitely going to be winning, for instance, this boss thing, I imagine. Oh, it's kind of close, but given the additional range on the sniper tower of 10 compared to the 7. Oh, it's going to be 18 with that 80%. Oh, it's a 60%. But compared to Shmo's 16 versus 11.2, like 5 more range is a big deal. I think that he might be able to win. Also, Shmo's got 3 incomes. Oh my goodness. So this is like a kill move tower plus the incomes. Wow. It makes such a difference when you can look at these upgrades. NaKsUtTaJa with 1 income. This is a little bit... I'm very actually worried for NaKsUtTaJa, who has a similar maze setup. It's nice, because I think you might be able to grab a second tower. There's more expansion room on this side anyways, just because it's being won over, but would have liked this being shifted a 1 or up. I'm not sure where the second tower goes, although I haven't really looked at the maze enough. And, oh man, I just, 3 incomes is so excessive. StarDuck has 3 incomes too. That's nice, but it is an HD, and that was my first pick, and I don't think it's going to play out as well as I thought it would. Oh, are we going to get a kill on that drop boss? Yeah, we did. Oh, we might have gotten 2. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at Shmo. Okay, Shmo has 4 incomes. Wow, really just throwing down the incomes. So I'm assuming those incomes were sooner, and Shmo realized that damage wasn't going through. Did Maddogs... Oh, there we go. All right, and Maddogs did indeed. Oh, let me record this. I can finally actually. Okay, let's so Mad / Yoon / Miaouf. Wow. Oh my goodness. / Knock. Oh my goodness. Did everybody just die? Wow. The one time I was on top of recording it. So everyone, and then we have. Okay. Wow, that is kind of crazy. Let's just appreciate everybody's maze one last time. So Miaouf had the TP on 1, it looks like, so reverse TP. Let's go to True. True is still alive, so we don't have to look at that yet. Yoonmeisters, TP on 1. Ooh, I thought they would have sold the towers. Maddogs ooh, with that sniper tower, and the TP might have been on one. SeJeY is dead as well. TP is on finish, but it looked like one just walked right over to finish because of a hole in the maze. That's just unfortunate. Sometimes it's really difficult to change mazes in between each wave. Shmo, obviously our life leader, and we have StarDuck right here with TP connected to finish. That is the way to go. Alright, and NaKsUtTaJa had, yeah, that TP on one, I think. And that is the death. That seemed to be yes, that was the deciding factor of this game. Okay, and let's go ahead and look at this. Can I get 16 lives? Why does True need 16 lives? Maybe that's the difference between True and StarDuck? It's difficult to tell. Alright, and let's go to Shmo. I'm gonna go to Twitch chat. Yep, okay. At least Twitch is moving right now. That's the good thing. Oh, StarDuck has such a long maze. This is great. Really liking that. Wow. It looks like Shmo has won this one, so let's just hesitantly True, Star, and Shmo. It's funny, in this game, like, you want to have a really good, you want to be very friendly and sportsmanlike, but also at the same time, you're secretly hoping everybody holes and messes up their maze dramatically, and so you don't get last. Yeah, okay. I agree. Sniper was a tough choice. I did not think about balance at all. I think Sniper was, you do get so much range in terms of being mazing over here. Oh, what was the supply on this one? 58? I think you could have gone Sniper and maybe just, like, if you really used all of your supply without... yeah. But you could effectively use this right side early, but I don't think you could have used the income. Yeah, I'm glad too, Shmo, because I lose quite a few games to you, and it's embarrassing when I just continuously lose against you, and then you're dropping out quick. Okay. So yeah, wow, Bounce is just performing so well. Good kill move, just by placing it right here for that additional maze length. Although I was still a fan of this HD placement. Oh wait, True placed it there as well. Okay, I thought that was Shmo's maze. I really like this HD and just wish it was a bounce, and I think that would have been the difference in damage. But yeah. Oh, the 16 kills was to survive the bonus boss. That's nice. I wasn't following that. All right. Okay. And here we go with Shmo with his 4 incomes compared to StarDuck's 3. That is... That's, I think Shmo's going to win just because of the coefficient difference between the two. It looks like StarDuck does actually have a better maze, just looking at time and how each are performing. And it does look like StarDuck has room for a second tower. It's just that Shmo has an additional income, such a life advantage. Oh no. So yeah, no, I think that the game is essentially it's just going to be dwindling down just because of this coefficient. I think StarDuck's one hope is to start a second tower, maybe grab 1 or 2 Ling life upgrades, and try and get the second tower going. Because Shmo did definitely go for this kill move based upon where this bounce is placed. So I'm looking at the second placement for a bounce tower. You can place it here, but once you place it on that far left tower right there, you're completely giving up. I don't know if I was supposed to ping that on the minimap, but you completely give up this right side. There's no way that you're going to be able to effectively use range on that. And I don't think Shmo even has any range upgrades. I'm not sure. Oh, you can get these rocks over here, but you can go back and forth left and right. Oh, was that to Twitch chat? Yes. I was afraid that everybody could see that. So... this HD has to be turned around right now, but Shmo is overmaxing correctly in order to go for that last kill. StarDuck is just trying to expand as best as possible, but I'm just not sure it's gonna be paying out right here. Let's see, Explodlings. Let's just compare length really fast. 457 compared to, I don't even see this worker, 430. So yeah, so this is 27 length difference, which might be a few seconds, and a few seconds is a huge for firing time, but if you look at this extension up here going up and using this slow, especially for explodlings, is super important, and I think really just using the TP effectively was the best call. I really like this use of space, compared to the way that it was looped initially with both them coming out to the right side. You just get all this good, you're using every little bit of space for this. And yeah, I think that was the kill move right there, just with that overmax. It looked like Shmo didn't even have to worry about having a second tower right here that could use this right space, even though I still would have preferred just giving up this little space up and putting 2 towers here and here. But yeah, this looks like the end, unless, I guess this is it. Let's look at these creeps. Will we be able to get the last few kills? I don't know. I also am not following the first creep. Okay, yeah, it does not look like we can get a 50 kill difference. And there we have it, right there. Victory Shmo comes back. Wow, I was saying the exact same thing. It's not really winner's job in my opinion, just saying. Was that in relationship to me? I don't know. Okay. So that was last game. Going to post a Reddit thread, and please, any feedback / future tournaments. Wow, I cannot type. Might be fun. Production up. Okay, thanks for watching the stream, everybody. Hopefully I didn't lag too much, and everything worked out well enough. Thanks for watching, and that's about it. Please give me any feedback, and let's hopefully try and get the tournaments going better. Thanks.